Hi! Before starting, put the auto-generated YouTube subtitles in French or your mother tongue to get everything, and slow down or speed up the pace as needed. If you don't have time to watch it, just listen this video as a podcast while doing something else. Now listen and learn English. It was a bright and sunny morning. The birds were singing. The smell of coffee filled the air. Today was a big day for Tom. Tom was starting a new job. He had on his best shirt. He had a new tie. Today was the day he would become a customer service representative. Tom had always been a people person. He loved talking to people. He liked helping people. But could he handle the pressure of customer service? He was about to find out. Tom arrived at the office. He took a deep breath and stepped inside. The office was buzzing with activity. Phones were ringing. People were typing. Tom's heart started to race a little. He was a bit nervous. He had never worked in an office before. What if he wasn't good at it? What if he made a mistake? He saw his manager Sarah waving at him. She had a big smile. Sarah looked like a friendly person. Tom started to relax a little. Maybe this wouldn't be so bad after all. He was ready to learn. He was eager to start his new adventure. Ring. Tom sat down at his desk. It was shiny and new. He had a headset and a computer. Everything seemed so high-tech. Sarah showed Tom how to use the phones. She explained how to answer customer questions. Tom tried to remember everything. It was a lot to take in. Just then, Tom's phone rang. He took a deep breath and answered.
Hello, customer service, Tom speaking. How can I help you?
On the other end of the line, a man was speaking. He sounded upset.
I ordered a blue shirt, but I got a red one. This is not what I wanted.
Tom's eyes widened. He had no idea what to do. He looked at Sarah. She smiled and gave him a thumbs up.
I'm sorry, sir. Let me check on that for you. Can I please have your order number?
Lost in translation.
The man rattled off a long string of numbers.
Tom tried to write them down, but he was so nervous he wrote the wrong ones.
Sir, I can't seem to find your order with that number. Are you sure that's correct?
The man sighed loudly.
This is ridiculous. I just want the shirt I ordered.
He hung up the phone with a loud slam. Sarah, to the rescue. Tom felt terrible. He had messed up his very first customer interaction. What if all the customers were this difficult? Sarah walked over to Tom.
Don't worry, Tom. It happens to everyone. Sometimes technology fails us or we misunderstand. The important thing is to stay calm and try to help the customer.
Sarah showed Tom how to use the system to track orders. She explained how to handle upset customers. Tom was grateful for her help. He was determined to do better next time. Money troubles. Tom's phone rang again. He took a deep breath and answered, trying to channel Sarah's calm demeanor.
Hello, customer service, Tom speaking. How may I assist you?
A woman's voice, laced with frustration, filled his ears.
I've been trying to place an order on your website, but my payment keeps getting declined. I know I have enough money in my account.
Tom felt a wave of sympathy for the woman on the other end. He knew how frustrating it could be when technology didn't cooperate.
I understand, ma'am. Let's see what we can do about that. Could you please provide me with your order number and the last 4 digits of your card?
Tom grabbed his notepad and pen, ready to jot down the information. He was determined to get this customer's issue resolved. The customer provided her details, and Tom diligently inputted them into the system. He clicked check status, but the same message popped up on his screen. Payment declined.
That's strange.
Excuse me? What do you mean that's strange? Is there a problem with my card or with your system?
Confusion clouded Tom's face. He reread the message, double-checking the information he'd entered. Everything seemed correct.
Oh, no, ma'am, I didn't mean... Let me try that again.
He clicked check status once more, hoping for a different result, but the relentless red letters refused to budge. Sensing Tom's struggle, Sarah approached his desk. She listened in for a moment, her brow furrowing as she picked up on Tom's flustered tone and the customer's rising agitation.
Ask her if she's used her card recently on any other websites or if she's traveling. Sometimes, security measures can flag unusual activity.
Tom's eyes widened in realization. He'd completely forgotten about that. Taking a deep breath, he relayed the question to the customer, hoping her frustration hadn't reached its peak. As it turned out, the customer had recently enabled a new travel notification on her card, and that was causing the payment to be flagged. With Sarah's guidance, Tom was able to guide the customer through the steps to resolve the issue. Relief washed over Tom as he heard the customer say,
Oh, that makes sense. It's working now. Thank you so much for your help.
No problem, ma'am. We're happy to help. Have a great day.
After the call ended, Sarah gave Tom a reassuring smile.
You did a good job, Tom. Remember, even experienced customer service representatives make mistakes. The important thing is to learn from them and keep trying your best.
Tom nodded, feeling a surge of gratitude for Sarah's patience and guidance. He was starting to realize that customer service wasn't just about answering phones and solving problems, it was about connecting with people and navigating the unexpected with grace. Just when Tom thought he could handle anything, disaster struck. The company website crashed. Customers couldn't place orders. They couldn't track their shipments. The phone started ringing off the hook.
Oh no.
Tom's phone beeped with an incoming call even before he could put down his coffee mug. His heart sank as he saw the flashing red light on his phone line.
Hello, customer service. This is Tom.
He answered, his voice tight with apprehension. He braced himself for the wave of customer frustration he knew was about to crash over him.
The website's down. I can't access my account.
A man's voice boomed through the receiver, thick with frustration. Before Tom could even respond, another call came through, a woman's voice this time, frantic and panicked.
My order hasn't arrived and I can't track it. What's going on?
Tom's head spun. He felt like he was caught in a whirlwind of complaints, unable to keep up with the deluge of calls and the escalating panic in the voices on the other end.
Sir, ma'am, I understand your frustration. We are experiencing some technical difficulties.
His words were lost in the cacophony of ringing phones and irate customers. Sarah, ever vigilant, quickly assessed the situation. She could see the panic rising in Tom's eyes and knew she had to act fast. Clapping her hands to get everyone's attention, she announced in a clear, calm voice.
All right, everyone, take a deep breath. We can handle this.
Moving swiftly, Sarah went from desk to desk, offering words of encouragement and guidance.
Remember our training. Empathy first, then solutions. We'll get through this together.
She pulled up the company's emergency protocol on her tablet, her fingers flying across the screen as she relayed instructions to the team. A sense of calm settled over the room as Sarah's steady presence and clear plan of action took hold.
Tom, focus on answering the phones, acknowledging their frustration, and assuring them we are working on it.
She handed him a script with key phrases to use, a lifeline in the sea of complaints. Tom, clinging to Sarah's instructions like a life raft, took a deep breath and began answering the calls again. This time his voice was calmer, more assured. He followed the script, offering empathy and updates, even managing a reassuring chuckle when a customer's frustration reached a comical level. As the hours passed, the website flickered back to life. The phones gradually quieted down, the initial panic replaced by sighs of relief. Tom, though exhausted, felt a surge of pride. He had weathered his first customer service storm, thanks to Sarah's guidance and his own growing confidence. The day was winding down, the office lights casting long shadows across the now quieter room. The once bustling office had quieted down, the hum of computers and the chatter of colleagues had faded into a serene silence. The golden hues of the setting sun filtered through the blinds, painting the room in a warm, amber glow. It was a moment of calm after a stormy day, a brief respite before the final challenge. Tom, though fatigued, felt a sense of accomplishment washing over him. He leaned back in his chair, stretching his arms above his head, feeling the tension ease from his muscles. The day had been long and grueling, but he had managed to navigate through the chaos. He had tackled every problem thrown his way, and now, as the day drew to a close, he allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. He'd faced down crashing websites, irate customers, and his own technological ineptitude. Each challenge had tested his patience and resolve, pushing him to his limits. The website crashes had been particularly frustrating, each one a ticking time bomb that needed defusing. The irate customers had been relentless, their complaints a constant barrage that threatened to overwhelm him. And his own technological ineptitude had been a persistent thorn in his side, a reminder of his limitations. And he'd come out the other side, maybe a little bruised, but definitely not broken. He had persevered, finding solutions where there seemed to be none, and now, as he sat at his desk, he felt a sense of triumph. He had weathered the storm and emerged stronger for it. The bruises were a testament to his resilience, a reminder that he could overcome any obstacle. Just as he was about to celebrate his survival with a celebratory sip of lukewarm coffee, he allowed himself a small smile. The coffee was cold, a far cry from the hot, comforting beverage he had hoped for, but it was a symbol of his victory. He lifted the cup to his lips, savoring the moment, when suddenly, his phone blinked with an incoming call. The shrill ring shattered the silence, pulling him back to reality. He glanced at the screen, his heart sinking as he recognized the number. It was the last thing he needed, another problem to solve when he was already running on fumes.
One more for the road, he muttered to himself, steeling himself for what was to come. He knew he had to muster the energy to handle this final call, to give it his all, despite his exhaustion.
He muttered to himself, a mixture of dread and determination in his voice. The day had been long and he was ready to go home, but he couldn't ignore the call. It was his duty, his responsibility, and he would see it through to the end. He took a deep breath and answered, trying to summon the last reserves of his energy. He needed to be calm, composed, and professional, no matter what awaited him on the other end of the line.
Customer service, Tom speaking. His voice was steady, a practiced calm that belied the turmoil he felt inside. He had done this countless times before, and he would do it again. "How can I help you?" he asked, his tone polite and professional. He braced himself for the response, knowing that it could be anything from a simple query to a full-blown complaint.
The voice on the other end of the line stopped him in his tracks. It was a voice he recognized, one that had haunted him throughout the day. The tone was sharp, filled with frustration and anger. It was the disgruntled customer from that morning, the one whose order number he had jumbled. The memory of the earlier interaction came flooding back, the confusion and the mistakes that had led to this moment. He knew he had to make things right, to turn this final challenge into a victory. Tom took another deep breath, his mind racing as he prepared to address the customer's concerns. He knew that this was his chance to prove himself, to show that he could handle even the toughest situations with grace and professionalism. He listened intently as the customer vented their frustrations, taking notes and formulating a plan of action. He knew that empathy and understanding were key, that he needed to show the customer that he cared and was committed to resolving the issue. When it was his turn to speak, he did so with calm and confidence. He explained the steps he would take to rectify the situation, offering solutions and reassurances. He could hear the customer's tone soften, the anger giving way to a grudging acceptance. By the end of the call, Tom felt a sense of relief. The customer was no longer irate, and the issue was on its way to being resolved. He had faced the final challenge of the day and had come out victorious. As he hung up the phone, he leaned back in his chair, a smile playing on his lips. The day had been long and difficult, but he had proven to himself that he could handle anything that came his way. The final challenge had been met, and he was ready to go home, knowing that he had done his best. The office was quiet once more, the shadows growing longer as the sun dipped below the horizon. Tom gathered his things, feeling a sense of peace and accomplishment. He had faced the day's challenges head-on and had emerged stronger for it. As he walked out of the office, he knew that he was ready for whatever tomorrow would bring.
Well, if it isn't the numbers whiz himself. You know, I've been waiting to see if you could pull off another miracle today. Did they finally find my missing shirt order in the virtual abyss? I was starting to think it had vanished into thin air.
Tom braced himself for another round of verbal sparring, the kind that had become all too familiar in his line of work. He had dealt with countless frustrated customers, each one a new challenge. But this time, he felt a strange sense of calm. It was as if the lessons he had learned were finally sinking in, giving him a newfound confidence. He'd learned a lot that day, not just about customer service procedures, but about the importance of patience, empathy, and a good dose of humor when dealing with difficult situations. These were not just abstract concepts, they were tools he could use to navigate the complexities of human interaction. He realized that patience allowed him to listen more effectively. Empathy helped him understand the customer's perspective, and humor could diffuse even the tensest situations. These skills were invaluable, not just in his job, but in life.
As a matter of fact, sir, it seems your shirt took a little detour to the fashion police for a style upgrade. It must have been quite the journey, but rest assured, it's on its way back to you. But fear not, it's back on track and should be strutting its way to you shortly. We've made sure it's in tip-top shape, ready to make its grand entrance.
A surprised silence met his response. It was as if the customer was processing the unexpected humor and reassurance. Then a low chuckle rumbled through the phone. It was a sound that signaled a shift in the conversation, a moment of connection.
Well now, isn't that a relief? For a minute there, I thought it had joined the witness protection program. You've got quite the sense of humor, haven't you? It's good to know my shirt is safe and sound. I was starting to think it had gone on an adventure of its own. Maybe it's got some stories to tell when it finally arrives. Tom couldn't help but smile. This was the kind of interaction that made his job worthwhile. It wasn't just about solving problems. It was about making connections, even if they were brief. He thought back to the training sessions, the role-playing exercises, and the countless hours spent learning the nuances of customer service. It all seemed to be paying off. He felt a sense of accomplishment, knowing that he had not only resolved the issue, but had also made the customer's day a little brighter. It was a small victory, but it meant a lot. Feedback from customers often varied, but moments like these were a reminder of why he chose this career. It was about more than just numbers and metrics. It was about people. As the day came to a close, Tom reflected on the lessons he had applied. He knew there would be more challenges ahead, but he felt ready to face them. With each interaction, he was becoming better at his job and more attuned to the needs of the customers he served. The future seemed a little less daunting and a lot more promising. He was ready to take on whatever came his way, armed with the lessons he had learned and the confidence he had gained. With a final smile, he ended the call, knowing that he had made a difference, one customer at a time. And that, he realized, was the true essence of his job.
So, I'll make sure your order is updated, and just to make up for the inconvenience, I'm giving you a discount on your next purchase.
He could practically hear the man's frown turn upside down as he accepted the apology and the offer. As Tom wrapped up the call, a warm hand settled on his shoulder.
Way to go, Tom. You turned that frown upside down faster than a pancake on a hot griddle.
Tom, grinning from ear to ear, thanked Sarah for her unwavering support throughout the day. He realized that even the most challenging of days could be conquered with a positive attitude, a willingness to learn, and a supportive team by your side. As Tom powered down his computer, the exhaustion of the day finally catching up with him, he couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. It had been a long, grueling day filled with challenges and new experiences. The kind of day that tests your mettle and makes you question your choices. But as he sat there, reflecting on the hours that had just passed, he realized that he had learned more than he ever thought possible in such a short span of time. He'd started the day as a nervous rookie, unsure of himself and his abilities. The morning had been a whirlwind of introductions, training sessions, and a seemingly endless stream of information. Tom had felt like he was drowning in a sea of new faces and unfamiliar tasks. Every phone call, every customer interaction had been a test of his patience and resolve. He had stumbled, made mistakes, and at times felt completely out of his depth. But as the hours ticked by, something remarkable happened. He began to find his footing. With each passing minute, he grew more confident, more capable. He started to understand the rhythm of the job, the ebb and flow of customer service. By the end of the day, he was no longer the uncertain newcomer. He had transformed into a valued member of the team, armed with new skills, a newfound confidence, and a collection of customer service war stories that would surely entertain his friends for weeks to come. His colleagues had noticed his progress and had congratulated him on his efforts, making him feel truly welcomed and appreciated. He might not have conquered the world of customer service just yet, but he had definitely survived his first day, and that, he decided, was a victory worth celebrating. The small victories, the moments of triumph, no matter how insignificant they might seem to others, were monumental to him. Each successful interaction, each problem solved, was a step forward, a testament to his growth and resilience. He felt a sense of accomplishment that he hadn't felt in a long time, a feeling that he was on the right path, that he was capable of more than he had ever given himself credit for. As he made his way out of the office, the setting sun painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Tom knew one thing for sure. He might not be cut out for a peaceful 9 to 5, but this customer service gig, this he could handle. The vibrant colors of the sunset mirrored the emotions swirling within him. He felt a sense of peace, a sense of purpose. The day had been tough, but it had also been rewarding. He had faced his fears, tackled his challenges head-on, and come out stronger on the other side. The future seemed a little less daunting, a little more promising.
And who knows, maybe, just maybe, I might even grow to sort of enjoy it. The thought made him smile. It was a tentative hope, a small spark of optimism. He knew there would be more tough days ahead, more challenges to face, but he also knew that he had the strength and determination to overcome them. He had taken the first step on a new journey, and while the road ahead was uncertain, he was ready to embrace it with open arms. The possibilities were endless, and for the first time in a long time, Tom felt truly excited about what the future might hold.
Tom walked out of the office into the cool evening air. He was tired, but he felt good. He had survived his first day in customer service. It had been a day of ups and downs. He had made some mistakes, but he had learned from them. He had dealt with some difficult customers, but he had managed to stay calm and helpful. Tom realized that customer service wasn't easy. It took patience, understanding, and a good sense of humor, but it was also rewarding. He had helped people today, and that made him feel good. Tom thought about all the things he had learned that day. He had learned how to use the company's computer system. He had learned how to handle different types of customer inquiries. He had also learned the importance of staying calm under pressure. And he had learned that it's okay to ask for help when you need it. Tom knew that he still had a lot to learn. But he was excited to come back tomorrow and continue his journey as a customer service representative. He had faced his fears and come out stronger, and I learned that even a customer service nightmare can have a happy ending.
That's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video for another story.